50 years ago, a single proclamation changed the course of Indian democracy. On the night of June 25, 1975, acting on Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's recommendation, President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed declared a state of emergency across the country. Civil liberties were suspended, the press was gagged, and dissenting voices were silenced. It remains one of the darkest chapters in independent India's history. In Tamil Nadu, it stirred both defiance and repression. What really happened? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. Usually we talk about current issues, but sometimes we need to look back to understand how a single moment in history shaped the political path of a state like Tamil Nadu. That's what we explore in this episode. Just 2 weeks before the emergency was declared, the Allahabad High Court had ruled Indira Gandhi's election from Raebareli invalid. She should be disqualified. Though the Supreme Court gave her temporary relief, the opposition erupted seeking her resignation. In Tamil Nadu, then Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi commented that he would have appreciated if she had resigned voluntarily. But M.G. Ramachandran, who was then the leader of the Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalagam, struck a very different note. He asked, should this fate befall the mother in the cradle of Indian democracy? On June 25, emergency was declared. Prominent national leaders, including Jayaprakash Narayan, Morarji Desai, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and L.K. Advani, were jailed under the dreaded Maintenance of Internal Security Act, or the MISA. In Tamil Nadu, the DMK's executive, led by Karunanidhi, called the emergency the inauguration of dictatorship. Even Congress stalwart K. Kamraj, once a kingmaker for Indira Gandhi herself, was distraught. When Karunanidhi, along with fellow DMK leader Neduncherian, met him, he said bitterly, the country is gone. Kamraj died later that year, a broken man. On July 6th, Karunanidhi addressed a massive rally at the Marina Beach, calling on people to defend democracy. He administered a pledge, and the crowd repeated after him, under any circumstances, we will not hesitate to protect people's rule in India. The meeting called upon the Indian government to release the detained leaders from jail. At that time, only the Tamil Nadu and Gujarat governments had openly opposed the emergency. In contrast, MGR's AIADMK passed a resolution supporting the emergency. MGR in fact met Indira Gandhi personally to hand over the resolution. Later, he renamed his party All India Anna DMK, arguing that regional parties must align with the national mainstream. By late 1975, Karunanidhi sensed a threat to his government. And on January 31, 1976, the DMK government was dismissed. President's rule was imposed in Tamil Nadu. The centre accused the DMK of ignoring emergency directives and encouraging secessionist activities under the guise of state autonomy. That very night, police knocked on Karunanidhi's Gopalapuram home, not for him but for his son M.K. Stalin, who was then 23 years old. The next day, Stalin was arrested, put in a lockup, beaten, and kept in a quarantine at the Madras Central Prison. Stalin later told the Justice Ismail Commission, I was slapped, kicked, beaten. We were served ragi balls for food. Stalin was not alone. Hundreds of DMK members were detained under the MISA, many without charge. Former Minister K. Vilavendan was held for days without water or clean clothes. C. Chitti Babu, a former mayor of Chennai and a sitting MP at that point, suffered fatal injuries in prison after shielding Stalin during a beating. Official records, of course, said he died of heart attack, but witnesses said otherwise. Stalin has often recalled, but for Chitti Babu, I may not have made it. Years later, as Chief Minister, he named a bridge in Kolattur constituency after Chitti Babu. There were countless others. Arkad Veerasamy, who later became a minister, lost hearing in one of his ears. Dravida Kalagam leader Veeramani recalled pleading with guards not to beat an inmate recovering from spinal injury. They did not listen. Detainees were coerced to resign from the DMK in exchange for their release. Food was adulterated with sand or excess salt was mixed. prison was not just confinement, it was psychological warfare. The Justice Ismail Commission, which was set up by the MGR government after emergency was lifted, confirmed that the abuse at the Madras Central Prison was real and severe. The Shah Commission, which was appointed by Morarji Desai-led central government in 1977 to investigate the emergency excesses, wrote that TMK was the subject of a concentrated onslaught in Tamil Nadu, where over 400 of its members were detained, often with no clear reason. Emergency officially ended on March 21, 1977, but its scars in Tamil Nadu run deep. Yet, strangely, on its 50th anniversary, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin made no public mention of it. Instead, he marked the birthday of V.P. Singh, the former Prime Minister known for implementing OBC reservations. Why this silence? Perhaps maybe it was because of the DMK's current alliance with the Congress. In fact, in 1980, just 3 years after the emergency, the DMK and Congress had joined hands to fight the elections together. Alliances change, but history must not be forgotten. In fact, for Stalin, often his arrest during the emergency is a reference point for his political career. The emergency was not just a political crisis. It was a moment when democracy in India was bent, bruised and nearly broken. And in Tamil Nadu, it sparked a spirit of resistance that could not be crushed. We remember those who stood firm, those who suffered silently, and those like Chitti Babu who gave their lives. History is not always comfortable, but it is always essential. On that note, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. Thank you.